The Tale of the Lost Manuscript, an extended revelation. It was exactly 30:47 a.m. when the discovery occurred. I was navigating a forgotten corner of a dusty, narrow bookstore tucked away in lower Manhattan, the kind of subterranean sanctuary where time seems to congeal and ancient secrets linger in the shadows. I brushed past thick, gray cobwebs, drawn by an inexplicable, magnetic pull toward a cracked leather spine. It was wrapped haphazardly in a yellowed newspaper dated from 1937. At a glance, it appeared to be an ordinary first edition of Think and Grow Rich. But as I peeled back the brittle paper, I realized it was something far more significant. The margins were crowded with frantic fountain pen notes, intricate sketches of trading charts, and cryptic mathematical notations. On page 47, written in a fading, rusty brown ink, were words that chilled me. The book Hill was too afraid to write. The real formula isn't about money, it's about becoming someone the market cannot ignore. The bookstore owner, a man whose skin looked like parchment, leaned in close. He whispered as if he were passing a terminal curse. "That belonged to Jesse Livermore," he rasped. He annotated the entire volume right before his final, legendary trade. I should have known something was fundamentally off when I saw the price scribbled on the inside cover: 500, the exact same amount Coca-Cola famously paid for its original formula. It was the kind of number that changes history quietly, behind closed doors. But what I found hidden within those pages wasn't just Livermore's frantic handwriting. It was a completely separate, hidden manuscript. The raw mental models Napoleon Hill gathered from 500 of the wealthiest men alive. These were models so powerful, so ruthlessly effective, that they were stripped from the public version by publishers who deemed them too sharp, too honest, and far too dangerous for the masses. That night didn't just alter my trading strategy, it rewired the very circuitry of my brain. Welcome to Trading Psychology Stick, the sanctuary where you don't just study the mechanics of the market, you transform into a force the market cannot break. Over the next hour, I will walk you through the 14 forbidden chapters from that lost manuscript. This is not your typical strategy session. There are no lagging indicators here, no cherry-picked backtests, and no get-rich-quick schemes. Why? Because what truly made the top 5% of traders profitable across a century of volatility wasn't what they did, it was how they thought. I've spent a decade working with over 1,000 traders, witnessing everything from catastrophic blown accounts to miraculous breakthroughs. The pattern is painfully clear. The winners master the mind first and the strategy second. The rest are simply donors who fund the winners' accounts. Shiatr1, T-Sikiyad Fire, forging desire into directed obsession. The difference between traders who merely want profits and those who actually take them is the difference between a flickering candle and a raging forest fire. In the realm of the market, desire isn't a vague wish for a better lifestyle, it is a deep-seated commitment to mastery so profound that you are willing to do whatever it takes to decode the market's language. Hill discovered this through the story of Edwin Barnes, but for the modern trader, it manifests as a specific type of madness, the willingness to sacrifice thousands of hours to testing and refinement while the world around you binds Netflix. Imagine Edwin Barnes standing in Thomas Edison's mahogany-paneled office. His clothes were more patches than fabric, his shoes were held together by little more than hope and grit. He had ridden the rails like a hobo to get there, the acrid smell of coal smoke still clinging to his threadbare jacket. The staff laughed at him, but Barnes didn't want a job, he wanted a partnership. That sacred fire in his eyes was the same one Edison felt during 10,000 failed experiments. In the trading world, this looks like the story of Jake Morrison. An accountant by day and a market student by dawn, Jake spent 2 years failing at 9 different strategies. While his wife nearly staged an intervention, Jake was actually succeeding. He was eliminating what didn't work. By month 8, he found his edge. By year 2, he was free. The framework for your sacred fire requires a specific goal definition and an exchange principle. Remember, the market is like a cat, it flees from those who chase it but settles with those who focus on their own development. SHIPTR TWINLZ THTMPLEOF SARAINTY, building faith on statistics. Faith in trading isn't believing you'll win every trade. It's knowing that your edge will manifest over a large sample size. Like a casino owner sleeping soundly while the floor is loud with gamblers. Hill referred to this as auto-suggestion, but for us, it is statistical confidence. This isn't the blind faith of a hot tip from an uncle, it is faith built on the cold, hard evidence of backtesting. Consider Charles Schwab's 90-minute speech to J.P. Morgan. He didn't just dream of U.S. Steel. He had prepared for months, knowing every competitor's weakness and every financial projection to the penny. His certainty was born from preparation. Take Sarah Chen, who lost $50,000 her first year. She didn't quit, she turned to the data. She discovered her win rate was only 42%, but her average win was 1.8R. She realized she could lose most of the time and still become wealthy. She stopped taking losses personally and started treating them as inventory costs. To build your temple, you must collect evidence until your eyes bleed, program your subconscious with the math of your expectancy, and reinforce that data through daily repetition. CAPTR3 THE4BDEN LBRY. The power of specialized knowledge. The market doesn't pay for what everyone knows. It pays for what you know that others haven't even noticed yet. General knowledge creates market donors. Specialized knowledge, the deep, granular understanding of a single approach, creates market predators. Henry Ford famously proved in a courtroom that he didn't need to know general history as long as he knew how to build the best automobiles. Traders often suffer from information overload, collecting courses like trading cards until their screens look like a Christmas tree having a seizure. Marcus Thompson was one such trader until he deleted 90% of his indicators and focused solely on market internals TISK, ADD, and VELD. By going deeper into market microstructure than anyone else had the patience for, he found an edge that others missed. To enter the forbidden library, you must choose one domain, one time frame, and one edge. Document it until you can teach it to a child. The market rewards the scalpel, not the Swiss Army knife. Shiaptar 4, Teach Romlabo visualizing market scenarios. The best traders don't just read the market, they imagine what it's about to become. Hill identified two types of imagination, synthetic and creative. For traders, this is mental time travel. Paul Tudor Jones famously used this in October 1987. While everyone else was drunk on the bull market, Jones visualized the unthinkable, a total crash. He felt the panic and the margin calls in his mind before they happened. When Black Monday hit, he made $100 million while others were ruined. Use the imagination training protocol. Spend time each weekend imagining a bull scenario, a bear scenario, and a chop scenario. Don't predict, prepare. Visualize the specific signals that would confirm each path. If you can see the move in your mind's eye first, you won't be paralyzed when the price starts to move in reality. Sitar Fidear Shiadotis Chiambr, the evolving trading plan. A trading plan isn't a static document, it is a living, breathing entity that must grow smarter with every trade. Samuel Insull's empire collapsed because his plan only worked in calm waters. Jesse Livermore, conversely, had a trading constitution that he revised quarterly. He would fire himself and only rehire himself if he could prove he had evolved. Your plan needs a mission statement, strategy documentation with surgical precision, and a contingency plan for when things go wrong. Perform a brutal analysis every quarter. If your plan is gathering dust, it's a tombstone. If it bears the scars of refinement, it's a treasure map. Chapter R60, The The Art of Decisiveness, in the markets. A perfect decision made late is a net loss. A good decision made quickly is wealth. Decisiveness isn't impulsiveness, it is the ability to act on your edge without a hint of hesitation. Think of John Hancock signing the Declaration of Independence. His signature was large and bold, inviting the consequences because he was committed to the action. In trading, this means having a 3-second rule. Second 1 recognize the pattern. Second 20 confirm the criteria. Second 30 execute. If you reach a 4th second, you are hesitating, and hesitation is just fear wearing a mask of prudence. Train your decision muscle in simulation until the click of the mouse is as natural as breathing. Shiaptr 700 Thefardosof Wuel, transforming loss into wisdom. Every master trader has a tuition number, the number of losses they had to endure before the breakthrough. Persistence isn't about stubbornness. It's about staying disciplined through the drawdown. Richard Dennis, the father of the turtles, went broke 3 times. Each time, he treated his losses as tuition to Market University. By his 73rd major loss, he had identified every mistake in his arsenal. Within 2 years, he was managing 200 million. To build your fortress, you must reframe losses as data points. If you aren't willing to take 100 losses to find your edge, you are just a tourist. The multiplier effect. The most profitable insight is the one that challenges your strongest conviction. Hill's master mind principle is about creating a diversity of perspectives. Andrew Carnegie knew nothing about the technical side of steel, but he orchestrated 50 minds that knew everything. Don't join an echo chamber. Find a Singapore collective, a group of traders where everyone is required to provide a contrarian view. When 5 different specialists look at one trade, the blind spots disappear. Your perspective is limited by your own biases. The round table breaks those limits. Shiaptr 9eth Shima Kale Farnese, transmuting emotion into edge. The same intensity that destroys most traders is the force that propels masters to excellence. George Soros famously felt physical back pain when his positions were in danger. Instead of ignoring it, he used the pain as a signal to research deeper. He transmuted physical discomfort into 100 billion in profit during the British pound collapse. Fear can be transmuted into prudent research. Greed can be turned into systematic development. Anger at the rigged market can be channeled into studying market mechanics. The energy will burn regardless. Your job is to give it a productive direction. Reprogramming subconscious beliefs. Your subconscious makes trading decisions based on money messages you received at age 7. If you were told, money is the root of all evil, your subconscious will sabotage your winning trades to keep you good. You must perform subconscious archaeology. Surface your limiting beliefs and replace them with new programs during the twilight state. If your internal software is outdated, no strategy in the world will make you profitable. Tuning into collective consciousness. You are not just reading charts, you are tuned into the electromagnetic field of global greed and fear. Paul Tudor Jones once felt a wave of nausea despite bullish charts. He trusted his antenna, looked deeper, found an anomaly in Japanese banking, and shorted the market before a 40% crash. Your gut feeling is often your brain processing patterns faster than conscious thought. To sharpen your reception, you must optimize your physical health and clear mental static through meditation. Shiaptr 12ethorxios Shiambr. The sixth sense. The sixth sense is pattern recognition that has transcended conscious processing. After 10,000 hours, you feel the move. Ed C. Coda consulted an invisible council of past masters like Livermore and Buffett. He had internalized their mental models so deeply he could ask them for advice in his mind. This isn't mystical, it's the natural result of extreme deliberate practice. Shechtar 130 THE6XP Antoms conquering core fears. Every blown account can be traced to one of 6 phantoms: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. These fears manifest as hidden loss syndrome or account paralysis. You must drag these phantoms into the light, name them, and face them with specific protocols. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's trading in spite of it. Tchaptr 430 The Devils Trdine Fefr, radical responsibility. The market has heard every excuse, but it only rewards responsibility. The devil's trading floor is crowded with people blaming high-frequency traders, bad mentors, or the algorithms. But the moment you say, I am 100% responsible for this loss, the devil loses his grip. Responsibility is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. There is no such thing as a successful victim. Colin Ionteantatong. You now hold the keys to the manuscript. But knowledge is merely potential, only implementation is power. The market doesn't care what you've read, it only respects who you become through disciplined action.